Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Bad Guy Ibra, and welcome to my podcast as well. I'm your favorite Gambian, and today I'm joined by the legendary James Tune. James, how's it going, bro?
Well, thank you very much. That's quite the introduction there. Legendary. You hear that, guys?
Yeah,
Absolute legend. Good to be back here, man. Good to be back. It's been a week now, a couple of weeks. It's been badgering me to speak about a few things,
yeah,
but as I get more time in a couple of weeks, I'll be able to come on more and
yeah.
help you out. Always
Honestly,
a
I
pleasure, my
appreciate
man.
it.
What
Yeah,
about
yeah,
yourself?
cool. Honestly, I've been doing all right, just constantly working, putting on, the shift at Amazon shit job. But anyways, forget that. And, my uni work and my YouTube channel as well, just putting
It's a
in
good man.
the grind
Good
in it.
man. It's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all about. Getting that work done.
Yeah,
Getting
definitely.
that fucking work done.
Absolutely,
All
yeah.
right.
Anyways, I've been really pissed off this week as the European Super League that was meant to essentially materialize. What are your thoughts on it?
What are my thoughts on it?
On the European
To be
Super
honest,
League.
it's been quite an emotional. No. We were the European Super League, exactly. It's been quite an emotional time, to be honest. It was one of the most emotional 48 hours I've had this year, let alone in my life.
Okay.
Not going to go into too much detail about a lot of things, but generally, football for me is it's 70 to 80% of my being, as it is with a lot of people in England, all across up and down the country. It's everything. It's what you wake up for in the morning. Every time you look, you're like, nah, I'm done with this club. I'm done with whatever. First thing you do, check your phone, check One Football, check Sky Sports. You're looking at these things, you're reading, and no matter what shit stuff is going on in your mind, in your life, there's always football there. It's such an escape for people in this country. It's such a pivotal thing that people of all cities, if you go to Liverpool, you go to Leeds, these people live and die for their clubs.
Yeah,
Everything is geared around their life and their clubs. And the fact that these wealthy businessmen from America who know nothing about the British culture, they know nothing about the football, they just see it as money and they thought they could rip that away from us. That's like ripping part of everyone's identity. That's like 70%
yeah.
of my identity just being stolen. I'm sure you feel passionately about football as well, but just being completely cast aside to put away this Super League. Do I want to play Barcelona every week? No, I don't want to play Barcelona every week. I care about the
No,
structure of the pyramid. I care about my cold Tuesday nights in Stoke. I care about the Merseyside derby. I care about all this stuff. I care about the rivalries in between that we all have as fans in this country. I care about the sport. It's not the same. It's
I
not the
guess what it
same
does.
if you're playing in fucking New York. I want to play
I know.
at Anfield.
Yeah, 100%, mate.
Yeah, before I
100%. I
ramble
guess
on
what it
too
does.
much, well, yeah,
It takes away the competition from the game as well. I mean, these sort of privatized um essentially entities like you got to remember football in itself was kind of started by working class people who literally live and die of football, and you've got these American corporations, not just America, who just don't give a shit about football. They just want to generate as much money as possible from the game. If you ask these Glazers to name at least 5 Manchester United players, they probably would struggle. So for 48 hours it just felt
well,
embarrassed
actually,
to be a
speaking of
United
the
fan.
Glazers,
100%.
they went to a game and they had to ask someone sitting next to him, I think it was Joel Glazer, what color kit is my team wearing?
Oh my god, that's fucking embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with this man owning Manchester United, my biggest rival. I don't feel comfortable with him owning them. That's how much it's gone. Let alone owning the entire pyramid. Not even a pyramid because it's closed off, which is ridiculous. How can you have sport which is closed off and it's not merited on how well you performed? But
Hmm.
I digress. Him in charge of the most elite competition in Europe. It's disgusting. As for the working class thing you touched on there, I mean, let's be real. It hasn't been a working class game for
For
30
Yeah,
years
for
now
a long
since
time.
Sky took over.
Yeah.
Everyone that's for our generation, we don't know anything other than the Premier League and Sky Sports. But even so, in the past 15 years, Ticket prices are ridiculous. If you
Yeah.
draw Barcelona in the European Cup, guess what? Airlines change £50 flights to Barcelona, suddenly become £400 flights to Barcelona. Train tickets to
Jesus.
Liverpool, if you're playing them on the weekend, those suddenly go up by 2 to 3 times. Ticket prices, 80 quid a ticket if you're going for a tier 1 game. What working class person can afford these things anyway? And that is what was so great about this when I say it was emotional, because it felt like it was being ripped away. It felt like we had no hope as people. These multi-billionaires are just taking over. And the community, the way every single person, color, creed, religion, city, all rivalries were wiped aside.
Came together, by the
Everyone
way, came together. I mean,
came
big six,
together.
we're talking about
Leeds fans,
Tottenham,
Man U fans,
Arsenal.
Chelsea fans.
Absolutely. Came together, man.
Not just
And
top six, the whole 72 English teams came together, the fans. Honestly, I was watching that Stamford Bridge. You see the riots outside Stamford Bridge before that game.
yeah, the
It was
protest.
like watching yeah, it was like watching a Champions League final.
yeah, yeah.
That's how much it meant to me. That was the emotional investment I had in it. When it brought tears to my eyes, because I felt like this is our last hope. And the people, and they came out in full force. Everyone unified together. And we actually changed it. And now, this is what we use. Like I said, it's not the working class game anymore. You spoke about how it was started by the working class and it was escape, and these people built these things up by themselves.
Yeah.
Now is time for us to rip control back off these multi-billion trillionaires. Now we've shown that when we do come together, there is nothing more powerful than football. There's nothing more powerful than the football collective, the fans, the journalists, everyone in around the media of football coming together. There is nothing more powerful than that.
At the end of the
And
day, the power does actually belong to the people, to be honest. We've talked about this before. These fucking crazy glazers or crazy cop. Fiorentino Perez, that's his name. So he's essentially the president of Real Madrid. This guy is the mastermind of this fucking. I hate that guy, bro. I would assassinate that guy. I'm joking.
don't get me
like,
started
I
on
hate
Perez.
that guy. He's a piece of shit. And he was behind it. And like, to this day, he hasn't really changed his opinion about it, to be honest. So yeah. But whichever team,
No,
go ahead.
none of them have. It's still going to happen.
Really?
If we don't do something, it's going to happen.
Oh my
It's
god.
going to happen. If we don't do something, they are coming back. Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus, they've already said, we're still going for this. It's just momentarily suspended. The English clubs haven't fully pulled out yet. They're still somewhat involved. They need to fully get themselves out of it. The owners of these clubs are still remonstrating that this is going to take place. Arteta comes out with a press conference the other day, and he doesn't shut it down at all. He starts
Yeah.
talking about the process. They need to change the process, and that will get involved. He doesn't wipe out at all. Kroenke, the owner of Arsenal, he's still on board.
Yeah.
They're still trying to do it under our noses. And if we don't do something, it will come up in the next 3 years. And Perez, don't even get me started on that clown. That utter clampit. All right? I have a lot of choice words
James,
for
try
that
and
man.
reduce your mic a little bit, just a little bit. It's too loud, slightly.
I think that's just me screaming. That's just
Yeah,
me screaming. I'm
slightly,
sorry,
slightly.
that's me screaming.
Yeah, go on. Yeah,
It's at the lowest it can
at the
be.
lowest. Yeah, cool.
But
Sounds great now, anyway. So yeah,
Perez is
Fiorentina Perez is a piece of shit anyway. But you see,
Perez.
I commend PSG.
What the guy said? He said 60.
Well, I think some people have actually said it the best, because at the time most young people were actually watching football when football was actually free on ITV. Not always free, but do you remember the time when we could watch football on ITV on a Tuesday for free? Every person was watching football, but nowadays
Before Sky Sports,
BT Sports has taken
1992.
I mean, quite recently, before BT Sports has taken the license for the Champions League, we could watch the game on ITV, but not anymore, mate. Seriously, because of that. So I'm not saying what he really meant was that he probably meant.
Depends on the game. Sky Sports used to have a lot. No, Sky Sports used to have a lot of control over the Champions League.
Well, they used to
Your
until
terrestrial
BT Sports
TV,
took over.
apart from the FA Cup. Yeah, but they took over Sky. Let's be honest, Sky are even more expensive than BT. Sky are no saints in this.
Yeah, they ain't. That's why they were
Terrestrial
shitting
TV was
themselves.
wiped out in 1992. The
Mm,
conception of the Premier League was the end of terrestrial TV. That was
okay.
the end of the working man's sport. But I
Yep.
see your
And
point.
then
And I'll let you talk about PSG and Bayern Munich and them lot because they
anyways,
did
what I
something
was
quite
saying
special,
was
didn't they?
they've done something quite special because when you think of especially PSG, I mean, these people are owned by some people who probably also don't give a shit about the game as well, but they understand that the game is very important to the French people as well because PSG, just like most teams in the United Kingdom, was also kickstarted by working class people, and these people respected that, and it was like, no, PSG aren't going to join the fucking Super League, and then you've got Dortmund, who essentially Germany, the Bundesliga, the fans, essentially the stakeholders in these football clubs, and you can't just do shit without the fans' knowledge. Whereas in the UK, we don't own shit as fans. You're like a Leeds United fan, but you're just a fan. You don't own shit. You know what I mean? Like the owners could make decisions, and you don't have any say in it. You can
Mm-hmm.
protest about it, you can raise your concerns about it, but at the end of the day, the power lies to them. Whereas in Germany, the fans actually are stakeholders and probably shareholders as well. That's essentially the difference between the United Kingdom
They are.
and in Germany. And I respect Germany for that, mate. Honestly, I fucking do. Well done,
Well,
Bayern. Well done, Dortmund.
that's the 50 plus one model.
Yeah,
That's the 50 plus one model. Basically, fans have a 50% plus one share
yeah,
ownership model over the clubs. So nothing can happen without fans having their final say on it. They are on the boards. They will have elected fan people, people that care about the club on the board. What do the people here care about the club? They don't care about you. You're a Manchester United fan. Do you think they give a fuck about you? Do you think they
they
give a
don't give a
fuck
shit,
about
bro.
me? Sorry to
They
swear.
don't.
They don't care. They don't care.
No,
They
they
don't.
don't.
They hate us. They hate us. They
Absolutely,
hate what are
they
called
do.
passionate fans. They don't want a fan that's going to go week in, week out, that's going to be annoyed if they lose. That is the
Yeah,
same person going then and again. They want someone who isn't really invested at all. They'll come once a year. They'll go to the club shop. They'll spend 200 quid in the armory each time they go. They'll go into the stadium. They'll buy all the burgers, all the sausages, and they'll just sit there, have a good time. They'll walk out the stadium. Their team's lost 5-1. They'll be like, "Oh, did you see that Lewandowski? What a goal he shot!" Despite the fact he scored
yeah.
against you. These are the type of people they
But
want. They don't want
they they
the
don't really care
die-hard
about the
fans.
real, the hardcore no, I wouldn't say football hooligans, but like the die-hard like Leeds United or
The
Manchester United
fans.
fans, like the real proper
No, they
gamers,
hate
like
them.
the
They
real
don't
ones.
want
No, they
them
hate those ones. Yeah, true, they do. Because then
because they
those
don't
people, I
get you
think the
money.
reason why they
They
do is
don't get
probably
you money.
they don't. Well, they probably do, to be honest, but because of the passion, and they know that those people are going to challenge them if they do something stupid or say something stupid, such as trying to join like a super league or something. That's why they're like, you know what, fuck these people, and they are probably going. They'd probably like the average kind of person who barely watches the game, but would turn up to like a Sunday at Old Trafford and spend like a shit ton of money, and then wouldn't give a shit about the game really. That kind of fan, that's what they probably,
Yeah. Well, look, I'll put it
gravitate
this way.
more towards.
If you owned a club, Irama,
Mm,
and you had one fan who turned up every single week, so that guy buys 10 tickets, he pays for 10 tickets.
yeah.
He goes in, maybe he has a few pints in there, buys a few pints each time. That's his tradition.
Mm,
But that's all he does. He's already got his shirt, he's already got this stuff. He doesn't need it. He goes there for the love of the club, for the love of the sport, for the love of what the team's going.
yeah.
Gets them a bit of money. But if you compare that to instead of that one guy going 10 times, 10 people going once each, that's a lot more money. That's a lot more
100%.
money
Yeah,
because
yeah.
those people will go into the armory after. They'll buy all the shit, all the Man United merchandise. They'll be head to toe in fucking Man United jumpers, tracksuits. And then they replace him with another guy who comes in with nothing, goes, watches the game. It's a massive day out for them. So because it's a massive day out, they want to make the most of it and they'll spend more money than other people. They'll end up spending, what, 300-400 quid on one thing.
Yeah.
It racks up. It makes up.
100%. So finally, as all the teams who initially were meant to join the Super League pulled out of it, Because I know all the English teams have pulled out, but of Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan, and teams like that pulled out.
It's I believe the three left are Barcelona, Real Madrid, and I think it's Juventus. I'm pretty
Fucking
sure it's
greedy
Juventus.
cunts, mate. Seriously, they are. I mean, but there's no point because it's not going to materialize anyway. Because the vast majority of the teams who were initially meant to join were like, you know what, fuck it, we ain't going to do this anymore. But Sky Sports were shitting
No,
themselves, bro. They were
because of
thinking we
backlash.
could be going out of business because of this. Because what's going to happen or what's going to materialize is that the big companies like these Chinese companies like TV
Hmm.
broadcasters or Saudi broadcasters and that might be taking over
Hmm.
the right to broadcast these games, and Sky Sports now, because these big teams
Oh, yeah.
probably won't be able to play in the Premier League or Champions League. BT Sports and Sky Sports are like, well, what are we gonna do? We can't show the games now, so well they can show
That's
some more
why they
games.
had the backlash.
Yeah,
But you have to look at the money tree. The people that spoke out most, the people that were most offended, are the people that are losing money.
true.
UEFA and FIFA. UEFA are
And
the most
Sky Sports as
corrupt
well. Sky
company I've
Sports.
ever seen.
Yeah,
Sky Sports, BT Sport, they're going to lose it. Of course, they're going to be outraged.
100%, mate. 100%.
UEFA losing all this
You see,
money,
I come in.
and they come out.
Listen,
Look,
yeah. Look at it. Listen to this, yeah. Patrick Bamford from Leeds United, number 9, absolute sensational player. He came out and said that the amount of attention they gravitate towards this European Super League, if they would have shown the same focus towards or emphasis towards racism in football, I promise you that racism probably would have ended. And I believe that 100%. Look at the passion Sky Sports displayed. Look at the passion that Premier League, because they could be losing out as well. They're like, fuck that. If they would have done the same thing for black players who have been constantly abused in games when they play for England, going out playing in other fucking Eastern European countries like Estonia and these weird countries. No offense, but and you know what I mean. And
mhm.
during Premier League games and that, like, if they would have shown the same attention and online abuses that black players faced on a fucking daily basis, I think that would have fucking helped a lot, to be honest. Bro, do you know the amount of abuse these people face online? Gabriel Bonlahor, former Aston Villa player, mate, the guy literally posted someone calling him a fucking monkey for no reason, bro. For no fucking reason. People just send horrible, vile stuff to black people and think that they can get away with it. It's because it's online. I mean, you can't face a black person face to face and say that. Well, because it's a lot more
I mean, yeah.
convenient and to just post something racist without showing your face, and it's just you can just get away with it. You know
No,
what?
racism's disgusting. I mean, at Bong Lahore, that's quite a weird example you bring up because Bon Lahore is an online troll.
Is it?
He is someone who baits people and wants that. Yes,
Oh,
he comes out every single
I don't
time
think he is
baiting it.
though. To be honest.
He's baited Leeds fans for. Oh, he is. He baits Leeds fans all the time for their response. He's always coming out niggling, saying all these shitty comments for responses. However, that doesn't mean that someone calling him that. That's disgusting. And there's
Yeah,
hate.
definitely.
There's levels of banter you can go to, and there's no racism. What the fuck